Greetings to one and all, it's your old buddy Jay here coming at you with another episode of Countermeasures Game Changer. Now we have another special treat for you today. This is a game called Ayleouna. Now this game is it's on the PlayStation Store, and I came across it because it's from my old buddies at The Voices Games Limited. Now, not that long ago, I did a review on a game called Lady in a Leotard with a Gun, and which had quite a lot of views and had some quite good feedback. And yeah, it was basically one of the worst games I'd ever played, and it had somehow managed to creep onto the PlayStation Store, which I do not really understand why that game was on there, because it was an unfinished mess. But anyway, it looked like a tech demo, and you could complete it in about 15 minutes. It wasn't very good, and I didn't give it a very high score. If I remember, it got a 1, maybe a 2 out of 10. So I did give some advice to the gaming guys at The Voices, which I believe is just run by one person who does all the design and development for these games. It was my advice was basically to try a little bit harder, and to have a sort of concept, and to sort of work through your ideas, and to try to kind of bring all these things together into some kind of coherency. Now, I thought it might be a little while before I would get to see Lady in a Leotard with 2 guns, but apparently it turns out not, because they have released a game called Ayleouna, this, I don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel. I believe it's probably been out on PC for a little while, but it only just came out on the PlayStation Store. It's for PS4, but you can also play it on PS5. It was released on the 30th of January of this year, 2020. And the genre, according to the PlayStation Store descriptor, is action. And yes, this game has lots of action. So previously you were playing as a rather busty lady in a purple outfit that was going around in a Doom-style sort of corridor shooter. And now you are a rather busty lady in a purple style outfit that is playing this kind of quite bad platformer. Now, I don't really know what else to say about this game other than it's total trash, of course. I'm a little bit disappointed that the developer didn't at least try a bit harder, because obviously these all look like store-bought assets, which is fine, because not everybody can create these kind of store-bought can create these sort of 3D moving pre-programmed characters and shooting mechanics. It is quite difficult, especially if you're just one person doing it on your own. So maybe having to go to store-bought assets is the way forward, and that's fair enough, because if you have a vision and you want to try and bring that vision to life, then there is no other way to do it. If you're a 1 or 2 person team and you don't really have those skills, so you may be inexperienced in that way, you need time to actually work out how to do these things. So what I wouldn't do is buy a whole load of store-bought assets, bodge them all together in Unity, and then just ship them out onto the PlayStation, which is exactly what this is. They've taken the rather badly reviewed PC version, and they've just basically ported it straight to the PlayStation. And again, I'm seeing a lot more of these games turning up on the PlayStation, whereas before there was quite a high quality of AAA games and indie games. Now there's a load of this garbage on there, which is, you'd expect to see it on Steam, as I've said before, because this tends to be the place that you might see these kind of crappily put together tech demos, if that's what you want to call them. But now they're creeping into the PlayStation, and I wonder if that has something to do with the fact that PlayStation are probably slightly panicking now with Xbox. They say that there's a console war, but it's not really a console war, is it? It's actually a content war, because Xbox have recently acquired Activision Blizzard and all of the stuff that comes along with those guys, and Activision in general for like 68 billion or some ridiculous amount of money for Call of Duty and all of those franchises that they own. Microsoft, they're absolutely killing it at the moment. So maybe PlayStation are open the doors to sort of developers or anyone that wants to actually sell items on their their site, on their store, and unfortunately we're ending up with a lot of this stuff, which I just think is a real shame. So I'm going to talk about the design of it. They are store-bought assets. You can see that this hasn't been built. It has no core kind of look and feel to it that actually matches with anything. So there's no real concept here, other than there's a kind of slightly sort of bodgy sort of platforming mechanic. I didn't even complete that section there, as you can see. Basically, it just let me drop through the world into the other part where you're sort of walking around on this Mars ball. Now, I actually think that ball is meant to be a planet. So again, I mean, it's just an asset that's just been thrown in here, and there's a skybox with the stars and everything floating around the outside. I mean, it's all just garbage. The animation's terrible. The frame rate drops off all the time. The connectivity is awful. The lighting is terrible. The one-hit kills and everything is just awful. The pre-programmed sprites that just sort of generate randomly to kind of try and stop your platforming adventure. I mean, I don't know if this is adventure. Oh my goodness, yeah. And then you often fall through the world, except there where you just do a giant leap onto an even bigger ball. It's just not very good. Oh, I got lost here. Yeah, that's right. So what I was hoping is I'll be able to completely finish this game within the time it took me to do the review, but unfortunately I couldn't do that because it's impossible to finish this game because it just keeps dropping you off into the world. As you can see, they have just used the same 3D rendered body that they used for the lady in a leotard, because she has the same kind of broken leg walk, or it looks like I've wet myself walk. It's just not very good. I mean, again, I keep banging on about having a vision for your games. Just make something up, just on the first page, just make up a story, at least have some connectivity with what you're doing to a story, however bad it is. At least just try. This game has not tried in any way, and I had to pay 30 pence for this game. It is not worth 30 pence, and I'm very disappointed with spending my 30 pence, and I would like to try and claim my 30 pence back. Of course, you can't do that on the PlayStation because they won't allow you to test out a shitty game and then actually just get your money back, which I think is an absolute outrage anyway, but whatever, that's a conversation for another time. I've got to say that the voices at this point, you guys are just not pulling your weight. I'm not impressed with any of this stuff, and there are more and more games like this coming out on the store, which I think is just, it just buries other good indie developers. You're damaging the design environment, the creative gamers out there that are actually building games with purpose and with good and innovative ideas, and they're getting buried under this garbage, and I'm very, very sad about that. I don't really want to talk about this anymore, so that is my review for Ayleouna, or Leona, however you want to say it. I mean, again, it's a ridiculous name as well, so I mean, just there's just no thinking in this whole thing. I reckon it's an afternoon's work just splattered out onto the PlayStation, and I think it's absolute shambles. I'm going to give this a -1 out of 10 because you didn't listen to anything that I said before. And yeah, hopefully I won't see any more games by this developer, but I have a feeling there are more coming up, so I'm looking forward to wasting my time on those in the future. So that's all I've got to say. I can't really give this any praise at all. Please don't buy it. Save your 30p. Go and take that 30p and do something far more important with it, like just throwing it down a drain, because quite frankly, I don't, as that's what you're doing when you buy this game. But all you will be doing really is buying your time back from not having to play it. So I've played this so that you don't have to. That's it. That's my review. So there's nothing more to say except be good, stay safe, and be kind to one another. Cheers.